Howdy folks, this is a shipping tips video for the Olivetti or Olivetti Underwood Lettera 32. This is a technique just to help protect the gears down inside the machine, which were not designed to withstand modern shipping methods. Back in the day when they shipped them from the factory, they had a similar method that they used, but that's kind of lost to posterity almost. So we're going to do something to simulate what they did. To do this, you're going to need some kitchen cling wrap and a rubber band or two. You start off on the right-hand side of the machine. Over here is a little silver lever that is your carriage lock. You're going to make sure that that is disengaged. You're going to lift it up and it's going to click, and then you'll be able to move the carriage. The other levers that we're going to use in this is this guy right here, which is your carriage release lever. Push it down and it'll let you move the carriage. There's another one on the other side. Push that down and it'll also let you move the carriage. So we're going to start with a rubber band, and you're going to want to hook it underneath that lever. And then you're going to want to feed it down through this space in the back. Kind of drop it through there and grab it on the other side. Well, my rubber band came off the thing. There we go. So the idea here is we're going to use that rubber band to hold this lever down. Now we're going to need to wrap it around here several times and then hook it back up on this lever. So I'm going to feed it through, and I'm just wrapping it around the very end here. See how that's going? And it doesn't have to go on top of the lever. It can go next to it as long as you start it off with it pulling down and end up with it pulling down. All right, almost there. And last time here. Whoop, dropped my rubber band. There we go. And see how I hooked it over that little lip at the very end there. And now that rubber band is holding that lever down, so the carriage is free to move. Now, you can repeat this process on the other side just as easily. And depending on the quality of your rubber band, you may want to, you may not want to. I use just plain old cheapy rubber bands off a rubber band ball, and if I were actually shipping this machine, I would do both of them, just for redundancy's sake. So, with the levers held down, you're left with a carriage that wants to go to the left-hand side like that. You know, maybe your margins are all the way out and you want to get it in there. Some people would be tempted to move the margin all the way over to keep it in place. And you do not want to do that. The reason being that instead of all the force being on the gears in the escapement, then all the force would be transferred to the margin. And instead of your escapement breaking, your margin would break. Other people would also like to use the carriage lock, this little silver lever. And the same thing applies. In this case, instead of all the weight from the carriage being transferred to the gears or being transferred to the margin, all of the weight for the carriage would be transferred to the carriage release or the carriage lock. And instead, it would break. So again, that doesn't work. So what do? You know, you can't fit it into the case like this. And this is where your kitchen cling wrap comes in. You can, well, I suppose I should have moved my case before I started this. You can take your kitchen cling wrap, pull it out of the box, because we're not trying to cut it here. Put a little bit on it like that. And wrap it around the knob. And then we're going to wind it around the back half of the machine a couple of times. And this will hold it in place. You pull it kind of tight as you're doing this so that it forms a nice solid layer around the back half of the machine. And you can cut it right there, put a little piece of tape on it, and then you'll be good to go. So after this, you can put the machine in its case, and the trick to that is when you set it in the case and lower this down on top of it, you want to not use the zipper, because if your case still has a decent zipper on it and you do close the zipper during shipping, chances are the zipper is going to blow out. So what do? You use a little bit more cling wrap. So you set it in the case and then cling wrap around the case. Then ideally you would want to do a couple of layers of small bubble wrap around the outside of the case in both directions, front to back and side to side. Pad the corners a little bit and put it into a box with at least 3 inches of padding on each side, top and bottom, front and back. For a machine this size, I would probably use an 18 by 18 by 12 box, and that should do the trick. So there you go. That's how to ship an Olivetti Lettera and have it be about as safe as it can get. So hope this helps. Later.